Hi, how you doing? I'm Andy Backer. I'm Vice President of Sales at G&D Chillers. You know, we spend about the first half of the year doing trade shows all over the country, and we haven't had the opportunity to do that this year. So we wanted to put together kind of a trade show Q&A. Going to give you maybe some of your some answers to some of your questions you might have if you're a prospective winery startup or looking into maybe expanding, or you just have general knowledge of or general questions in regards to chillers. So I hope this is helpful to you. I appreciate you clicking the link. G&D Chillers has been around for about 30 years. We started in 1993 by a gentleman named Dan Smith. He was a refrigeration technician in Northern California, but he was also a grape farmer, and he recognized real quick the need for a good quality packaged chiller. And so here we are. Basically what we've got here today is just a good example of our standard offerings of chillers for the wine industry. We've got some smaller units over here. A very popular model of ours is the Fire and Ice. It is a very rigid, portable design. Dan built this. I think we've been doing this for about 20 years now, and there's really nothing out there on the market like it. You can hook up to 4 tanks, and then it does have, as of a few years ago, we've added aux ports here, so you can actually hard plumb to it or add an extra set of quick connects right here. And it's nice. It's very mobile. You push it through the winery. It's designed to go bouncing around a busy winery during harvest, and it works great for people. The Fire and Ice will work good for a smaller startup. This chiller is awesome. It has the ability to heat and cool. You obviously are going to need some temperature control on the chilling side, but what this offers is the ability to heat as well. You can, kickstart your fermentation, bring that temperature up on your wine. If you're going to bottling, you need a little bit hotter of a bottle so your labels stick. This is your heater. But then aside from that, just the versatility to be able to chill and heat, it's such a great chiller, and it's got a lot of innovations over the years, but we still have the same ones out there from pushing 20 years ago that are still just getting beat up, and they're working great. The chiller in the middle will be more of a larger production scenario type chiller. You might still operate the Fire and Ice, obviously, like I described, but this would be the heart of your chilling at your facility. And this would be a more industrial type unit that is gonna give you some redundancy, which is big in production. Process cooling wine, you need to be able to rely on your chiller. And the great thing about this unit is that it does have 2 stages of chilling. It will run on an as-needed basis, so we're drawing a lesser amount of electricity if it's not needed. There's a lot of fluctuation in load in a winery, so we want to be able to do that. In addition to that, these compressors are reciprocating compressors that actually unload as well. So if your demand at any given time is such that you don't need even the full capacity of one compressor, it's going to kick out some cylinders and operate at even lower capacity. So that's great. It has vertical discharge of air. We've got 4 fan motors on this that are variable speed motors, and that adds to its efficiency. They also individually will kick on and off as needed. And it's a great unit for a more, just a larger scale winery. You're going to go into it, you need some serious chilling, and you're going to produce a lot of wine. That's a great option for you. Lots of efficiencies built in. This unit right here is our Dual 7. I sell more Dual 7s than any other chiller. This is a great place to start for the small winery or the winery with maybe some plans for growth. It works good in a scenario where you might start a little smaller but not need its total capacity, because it has that redundancy just like this larger unit. You also will see 2 compressors here. If your demand's low, only one of them is going to run. If your demand is high, both of them are running together. They will cycle back and forth over the life of the chiller for equal run time for each circuit. They are just a great chiller. If you start out small, you want to grow into it, it's going to take you pretty far. And like every other chiller we provide, if you get to the point where you need to expand, you exceed this unit's capacity or this unit's capacity or even this 5-horse back here, they're all modular in design. You can add to them. So it's a great standard package line of offerings we have for the winery industry. Yeah, that is the question. We're talking to people on a daily basis. We have been in this industry, like I said, for years and years. So we've developed our load calculations based off of years of research within winery wine production. So we will ask you things like, what's your percentage of red wine versus white? how many tanks do you have? How big are they? You know, and we will run those calculations from there and get you some recommendations. You know, we'll talk to you about growth. Is growth in the cards? Are you gonna, you know, are you just going to be a boutique winery and make limited quantities of wine, or are you going to, you know, hit the ground running and you've got like a phase 2 or a phase 3 expansion model? We want to take all those things into account and run some load calculations, and then get you some options on a great chiller. Like I was saying, on the heating side of things, a lot of people utilize it to kickstart fermentation. You might need it to bottle. You know, if you need to warm up your wine bottles so your labels will stick on them, that's very common. There's a lot of circumstances, especially up in northern regions, where you need some heat. The fire and ice is great for that. We also offer portable heaters that operate the same. They actually look identical to this fire and ice. They just don't have the chilling capability. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe your package chiller outside that you had purchased from G&D is large enough to take care of everything you're doing. Our portable heaters are out there in wineries across the country, and they're doing great. They're really serving some serious needs for people that need some heat. We also do a larger kind of packaged natural gas or liquid propane heater line as well, and that is typically going into a scenario where you have a large production facility and you need some serious heat. We can get you taken care of there. Along with your production of wine, maintaining temperature in those jacketed tanks, we're oftentimes cooling barrel rooms, cold case storage, or even the cellar, the wine cellar itself, you know, a little bit of temperature control. We find typically that when demand is high on the production side at your winery, your space cooling load's usually a little low. So it just makes all the sense in the world. You've got that chiller there when maybe production's not so high, but you know, you've got to temperature control your barrel room to go that route. So we simply would just run some glycol fan coils that look a lot like what you would see in a walk-in cooler at a grocery store. You know, they've got fans, and that will chill your barrel room, keep it right where you need it to be, as well as you know, any cold case storage need or cellar temperature control. The chiller or heater itself is going to simply tie into the tank with a hose. The chiller's outfitted with 4 supply connections and 4 return connections, and the hose has females on each end. You're going to want to outfit your tank with a 3-way ball valve, which I have right here, and then here is the hose as well. So you know, you would simply incorporate or put the hose onto the chiller like that, and then, you know, run this to your tank, and you would tie it into this 3-way ball valve. This 3-way, you know, we can supply you with this ready to rock. You will want one on your supply tank piping and your return tank piping, and then to isolate from your main line, you are simply just, you know, taking it from a closed position and opening it up here to where you've isolated your tank jacket to the heater or the chiller. Fire and ice is awesome. It's a hit. It's a staple in the winery industry. We're proud of it. There is a huge emphasis I always place when it comes to answering that question is just on our history. I mean, we know so much about the winery industry. I can't make wine, but I know how to chill it, and I've been doing it for years, as well as, you know, most of the staff here at G&D. So that's a big one. You know, that separates us from pretty much every other chiller manufacturer out there. And on top of a good understanding of what you guys are doing and how my chilling applies to production winery, we build a great chiller. It's a quality chiller, and we build it like that so we can back it up. None of the parts are proprietary to us, so in a pinch you can always find a way, if there is an issue, to get your situation resolved. We obviously stock all of our parts here. We've got parts warehouses across the United States, so we are confident we can help you out. Give us a call today if you have any questions in regards to a winery startup or a possible winery expansion. We've got 24/7 tech support, and we're always here to help you out. Feel free to call us. We appreciate you watching the video.